So Sean asked me a really good question. He asked me, how did I find the lender that I was working with? Because coincidentally, I had to reschedule a meeting that I had with the lender today, to film for you guys, which I thought is, obviously more important. I want to make sure that my business and you guys are, my number one priority. So basically, there was this lender that wanted to take me to lunch and just, meet me and whatever, just touch base with me. But the reality is that I already have a set team that I use. I have an amazing lender, I have an amazing title company, I have an amazing transaction coordinator, and if it's not broken, then I'm not gonna fix it. There's no way that I'm not gonna be loyal to my lender, who has been with me through the worst of times, who has closed so many deals for me that went completely sideways that I thought no other lender could close. And so that brings me to my point of, number one, you guys have to make sure that you surround yourself with a really good team. If you want to be a top 1% agent, you want to be a really good realtor, you want to close millions and millions of volume, it can't just all be about you. The lender needs to be on point, your title company needs to be on point, your transaction coordinator needs to be on point. If you have a showing agent, your showing agent needs to be on point. If you're on a team, your team leader needs to be on point. Whoever you're surrounding yourself with, your broker, everybody has to be on point for you to become one of the top agents. It's crucial that everyone plays a really good part, because there's so many different parts to a transaction and everyone has to do their end. So you can be the best agent in the world, but if your title company sucks and your lender sucks, that deal's gonna fall apart no matter what you do, right? Because the financing is not gonna fall through, or the title company, if you don't have a clear title on a property, for example, the property is not gonna close no matter what you do or what the lender does, right? And he originally thought someone could get approved for a certain amount, and it finds out that they can't actually get approved, that deal's gonna fall apart, right? No matter what you do. So there's certain scenarios that could completely be out of your control. And I had a really big issue when I was a new agent. I had a lot of deals fall out. I was counting my money before I even got in. Oh my God, I have 3 deals in escrow, and all 3 fucking would fall out. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And mind you, I didn't have the money I have now, so this was very stressful. I was living paycheck to paycheck, and if I was counting on that $10,000 check for the next 2 or 3 months and I didn't get it, I was backed up to a wall. And I rarely ever have a deal ever fall out now, and it all started with my lender. And so I'll tell you guys a story. My dad, during the recession, he did a short sale on his property in Jersey when we lived out there. And if you do a short sale, you can't buy a property. I believe it's like for, don't quote me on this, I should know this, but it's like 4 years, right? It's like you can't buy a property for 4 years. It could be 7. This one lender told us that there was a certain exemption that you could do, and he'll get him qualified with that exemption. Long story short, we were in the middle of contract and the loan got denied. I reached out to other lenders, and that specific lender was actually like, you know what, I have someone that might be able to get it done. And she recommended me my lender, Clay. And so Clay took over the deal and got that closed. It was insane. Like he really went above and beyond, because his underwriters were in-house. So when you guys have a lender, you guys should really pay attention. This is a very crucial question you should ask them, is your underwriter in-house? What that means is that the underwriters who ultimately approves the loan, right? If my lender has a relationship with the underwriter and the underwriter is in-house, which means they're literally in the same building, that means that they know what's up. Like they can talk to each other face to face if something's going on. They have a relationship. And so obviously that's gonna play a huge role into whether your loan's gonna get accepted or not. There is some leeway there on some things that are gonna get approved or not. So having that really good lender that has that relationship with the underwriter that's in-house, and not only that, but it's gonna get the process to get done a lot quicker, and your file can get pushed up to the front if you're using the right lender, right? Clay really saved my dad's deal. So basically, if you could prove that you had a massive, like I think it was a 20% or less reduction or more reduction in income because of the recession and you getting laid off or something, but you can prove that you're back to where you were before, or or better, then you can buy a house within 2 years rather than waiting for the 4 years. That for me was like a really big thing, and I was like, you know what, there might be something here. Again, I'm a really loyal person to the people that I use and I surround myself with, so I went back to my previous lender and I was using her again, and again another deal fell out. it was just a constant thing that happened like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, you know what, after the third time, like it's my fault now for keeping on to use her as a lender. Because if someone didn't qualify, like she didn't do her job well enough during the pre-qualification process to let me know that that specific person wasn't going to qualify for a home, right? Because now I'm wasting my time showing properties, sending offers, working nonstop, hours on end, days on end, weeks on end, sometimes months, to someone who's not even going to get qualified, right? So like, whereas if she would have just told me from day one, like, hey, this person doesn't qualify, now I can use that same time to go and find another client a house and work on someone who's actually going to close the deal. Because obviously we were commission based, so every hour that we spend on a client who's ultimately not going to end up buying a house is completely wasted time. So I started using Clay on all my deals, and man, I kid you not, actually those 2 or 3 deals that she didn't close, instead of just canceling the deal, I got Clay to qualify them again and do the deal, and he closed every single one of them. And I was like, dude, this guy is a monster. Like, I'm literally changing lenders in the middle of being in contract because my client can't qualify, to use another lender, and that lender gets it closed. So it just went to show me that it's really crucial what lenders you use, and not all lenders are the same. They don't all have the same rates. They don't all have the same guidelines. Which is a big one. So guys, if you have a deal that's going dead because of financing, don't give up. Use a different lender, call a different lender, and see if maybe they have different options for your client. There's a lot of times where instead of just letting the deal fall apart, I switched lenders and I was able to get the deals closed. And so it got to the point where Clay just saved so many of my deals that it would just be rude of me and idiotic of me to just not use him, because every deal that I gave him were really difficult deals, and he still somehow was closing these properties. Definitely don't fix what's not broken, guys. So if you have a lender, if you have a title company that they're all working for you, then just keep that team, be loyal to them, and they'll be loyal back to you. And if they're performing for you, there's no reason for me to be going and using any other lenders for my files, right? I do have lenders that are for private money, hard money, for flips, things like that, which Clay doesn't do. But as far as anything that's conventional financing, FHA, VA, I definitely try to get him to use them. And more often than not, when a client comes to me already qualified with somebody else, I urge them to just use Clay regardless. And I'm like, I know it's gonna be a headache to like redo all the paperwork with my lender, but trust me, it's night and day difference. Like, he literally could get deals. He's done deals for me that are regular conventional loans. Like, there's a lot of realtors that just use basic lenders that just don't know what they're doing. And here's the thing, there's a lot of lenders that close the easy deals, right? And so like, you might be giving this guy 5-6 deals, but they're all easy deals. These clients are all extremely well qualified, great credit, and any lender could close those deals, right? Who is the lender that's going to close that deal that your client's credit isn't the best, that he's on the cusp, that his debt to income ratio isn't the greatest, right? Who's there for you when those deals get tough and ends up closing those deals? Those are the guys you want to work with. And so that's the best advice I can give you guys for closing more deals, keeping your deals together, and surrounding yourself with a really solid team.